I heartily apologize for everyone, and I'm super excited to be here. So, words are mightier than the sword. This is a statement that we all have been hearing since we were kids. So, let me bifurcate this statement. Does it say English words are mightier than the sword? No. It only says words are mightier than the sword. Also, it talks about might. What is might? Might is the ability to create an impact in someone else's life, someone else's state of being. Two things. It's not about the language, and it is about your ability to impact other people through your words. And that is what my entire session, my entire speech will be about. So I welcome one and all. And as I take you to a journey filled with emotions in which I'll explain and showcase how different emotions are invoked by the right choice of words. And when you invoke these emotions, what all impact you can create. Let me start with the first one. There were 10 lakh Mughal soldiers waiting at the borders, surrounding 40 Sikhs. Just 40 Sikhs, including Guru Gobind Singh and his sons. They knew they were going to die. They knew it. And at that moment, Shri Guru Gobind Singh Ji said, "Sawa lakh se ek ladawa, चिड़िया नाल में बाज लड़ावा, तभी Guru Gobind Singh नाम कहावा." These are 3 lines, just 3 lines. Can I confirm, if everyone in the audience felt inspiration, felt empowered, felt passion, if you felt anything just by these 3 lines, just by this story, type in yes in the chat box, or anywhere you can show in your polls or by reactions or something. Anything is fine. That's first thing. Words can invoke emotions. The first one is inspiration. Let me try the other side of the spectrum. So I joined this call in the morning just to benefit all of you. But I see so many of you have turned your cameras off. Do you think people like these who have turned their cameras off deserve to be here? 2 seconds pause. I am not scolding anyone, but I just made you feel the second emotion, that is guilt, that is sorrow, that is fear. This is how the last 3 lines worked. I made you feel inspiration, I made you feel sorrow. The next thing, let me talk about happiness, joy. So, have you heard of stand-up comedies? So many good things. So let me just do a quick thing. So I am sure you must know about mosquitoes. They are the pointless beings on the face of earth. There is no use for mosquitoes. They'll come at you, they'll bite you in places you can't even explain. They'll bite you in your toilet, they'll bite you in your bathroom, in your bedroom. We talk about the privacy issues with Facebook and WhatsApp, but the real privacy invaders are these mosquitoes. So just the third emotion is happiness, joy, calm. This is how I use these words, these sentences, to invoke certain emotions within you really quickly. It just tells how you can rapidly change how the audience feels just by the way I speak, just by the choice of my words. And if I control the way you feel, I control the way you act. I repeat, if I control the way you feel, I control the way you act. This has been the biggest trait of all the leaders that have come across on the face of earth. So that's the might of words. That's the might that no other sword can bring. Do you think if I had swords, if I had gun pointed behind so many soldiers, forcing them to go on to fight for their country, will that work better, or will invoking a feeling of patriotism in the soldiers fighting at Siachen in minus 40 degrees Celsius, which of them do you think works better? If I threaten them or if I motivate them? Just type in motivate or threaten. Which of these do you think works better? If I want to drive action from someone, should I motivate them or should I threaten them? So there is so much motivate about it. So I guess all of you are following. Okay. So now we have established the importance of words and how it can change lives and it can cause action. Let me invoke the first poll of the day, that is to gauge the confidence people have in their communication skills. Before I help you to change your confidence, to improve your confidence further, a small poll. Uh, how confident do you feel about your communication skills on a scale of 1 to 5? That's the first one. Can everyone please answer? On a scale of 1 to 5, just be honest, it is an anonymous poll. I just want to gauge at what point are we starting. And I want to prove how you improve with this session. So we'll do a pre-session voting and a post-session voting. And let's see what the candidates feel about. While everyone is voting, I'll start to talk about the 4 core principles that I follow to improve my communication skills. I have acronymed them comfortably for you guys as LISN, that pronounces similar to listen. That's why I used a word that sounds like listen, because listen is my first word. To communicate, the easiest and the core fundamental step is to be able to listen. Listen to the people around you. Observe the situation around you. Just grasp first. Be a good listener. There are so many books that talks about personality building. There are so many books that talks about communication. And most of these books include 2 things. That is, listen to the person with uttermost attention. When you are listening to someone, the person values you more. They like communicating with you. And the second thing is remember their name. So if after today's session, if you remember my name, Aayu Kharbanda, and you contact me or maybe somehow reach out to me that, hey, Aayu, we met in that session and I really enjoyed or something like that. I will appreciate that you remember my name, not just a simple speaker who came to speak about words might. So first step, listen. Listen really well. That will improve your ability to form thoughts. The second one, I. I stands for introspect. So you have listened to a lot of stuff. So many people have talked. You have listened, you have been attentive. Now process all your learnings. You know, how do you think a baby learns to speak? Baby learns to speak by watching his parents speak. I repeat, a baby learns to speak by just watching and observing his parents speak. That's what we can still do. We can learn to improve our spoken skills by observing other people and then processing and grasping how they form sentences, how they use voice modulation, what choice of words do they use. Can I see the results of the poll, please? The first poll, is it possible? While they figure the logistics out, I'll emphasize, introspect, think about what did Aayu talk about today? What was his 3 core points? Think about how I can inculcate, the learnings that I got from him. Okay. So the first one, how confident are you in the communication skills on a scale of 1 to 5? I am really happy that no one voted for 1 and 2 on a scale of 5. The highest vote is for 3. So around half of the class feels they are moderately confident in their communication skills. And I'm super thrilled that there are people who have voted for 4 and 5 on the scale. And I still hope that I can improve the skill set of 4 and 5s in this classroom as well. Second one, introspect. Think about your learnings you got by listening. Next one, S, speak. Now you have learned. The best way to confirm what you have learned is right is by speaking. Speak about anything. Speak to anyone. Try to communicate. What does communication mean? Communication means transferring a thought within your head to the head of the other person. That's it. You can communicate by sign language. You can communicate by just emotions. You can communicate by just facial expressions. Communication is just transferring your thoughts in your head into the head of the other person. And just try to experiment with it. Try to communicate and then see how effectively are you communicating. Even though you were calm, you were happy, but just the way you communicated, it made the other person feel that you were angry. So your communication was not effective, even though you thought you were communicating it well, but the other person couldn't figure out what you were saying. Like in Three Idiots, कहना क्या चाहते हो भाई? That feeling should never be the case for your listener. You should never structure your communication such a way that people don't understand. It is not about talking the most sophisticated language, using the most rare words possible. It's about just making the other person understand you completely. I emphasize on completely. That is, speak, practice speaking. Practice how clearly you can tell your thoughts. It happens even at home that you are trying to communicate something to your mother and it comes out as offensive or it comes out as irresponsible, whereas that was not your intention. So know that your intention is delivered well. Ensure that your intention is delivered to the right person in a right way. Okay, people are saying my voice is not clear. Can the monitor confirm if my voice is not clear?
Sir, it's clear.
Okay. Okay, clear. All right. Next thing. So we have LIS done. And the last one is N, note. So you have done LIS, then N is note. This is the last part. Just note down things after you have spoken, after you have experimented. Have a habit of writing down things for your speech and the observations after your speech. The N part is the final bullet point you need for successful communication. Just note down that, okay, today, like the speech I am giving to you right now, I thought about it. This is how I found my speech today. I thought about it. Okay, I want to talk about these 4 points. Then I introspected. Okay, how can I talk about these points? What stories can I bring so that people are interested? The next thing is S. Then I delivered my speech. That's what I'm currently doing. The last part is N. After this speech is over, I'll note what I did well and what I can still improve. So these are the 4 letters, the small acronym of LISTEN that can really help you boost your communication game. LISN. L stands for listen. I stands for introspect. S stands for speak. And N stands for note. That's it. If you follow these 4 steps in this given order, every time you communicate, every time you get the stage, or every time you're talking to someone, the kind of impact you can create will be much more than any unstructured blabber that you would be doing without following these 4 steps. So that is my core idea I want to leave you guys today with. Again, I want to apologize for joining in late. It is uncharacteristic of me to be impunctual, but I was stuck with some emergency. That's why I was late. So sorry. And now I would like to open the second poll, that is about how confident are you to use these skills, and how confident are you now about your communication skills. That's the second question. So that is, how likely are you to practice the 4-part framework taught in today's class on a scale of 5? Because it is really important for me to gauge if my framework is useful to the people, and how I can improve this so that everyone can practice these learnings on a daily basis. So how likely? Just be honest with yourself. If you think this framework doesn't work for you, we have more ideas, we have more concepts that can help you out, and I can talk about them as well. Whereas if this works for you, I'll be super pleased. If the poll is over, I would love to see the results and gauge. So 75% people say they are on a scale of 4. They are 75% likely. The 25% people say they are 5 on a scale of 5. They're highly likely to. Okay, it's opposite. So 75% people are giving 5. 25% people are giving 4 on a scale of 5. Super happy to see the results. Or to the people who are giving 4 and to the people who are giving 5, I just want you to write it down, LISN, and the 4 words: listen, introspect, speak, and note. Just do it for me. Somewhere write it down on your chat, on your piece of pen and paper. Just write it down, because when you write it down, you remember and you know that this is what I have to do. Once it's written, it will stay forever. Just like that, what people try to do in terms of monuments. So keep it in front of you. Small acronym. No one will know. So if it's in your head, you're communicating with someone, no one will know that you're using this secret hack, this secret trick to communicate better. And why you're always getting those promotions, why you're always getting that interviews cracked, why you're always getting that right date. So communication skills can help you throughout. It can improve your personal and professional lives. So many relationships fail just because of the lack of good quality communication. So many opportunities are missed just because you couldn't communicate your skill set to the interviewer or to the person who is trying to employ you. So now, if you follow this framework, you will be standing out. You will be in the top 1 percentile. And that is my speech for the day. Now I'll open the panel for Q&A, and I'll ask the moderator to moderate the Q&A, and so that we can answer the personal questions and asked of the audience.
Thank you so much, sir, for your words of wisdom. Now we would be taking up the questions of the participants. The first question is, at times we are not able to have a command over our words when we are frustrated. How to have a control over them?
Right.
Yeah.
It happens with all of us. Let's first start by accepting ourselves and not beating ourselves at, okay, I was emotional, so I did this. When you're happy, when you're sad, when you're angry, when you're feeling these heightened emotions, your words blabber out. You talk about things you didn't want to talk about. When you're happy, you'll make promises that you won't be able to fulfill. When you're angry, you'll try to hurt the person so much that is not equivalent to the damage they have done to you. So we are emotional creatures. We are controlled by our emotions. Let's accept that. The second thing is, but we want to be more than just chimpanzees who are driven by their emotions. So what we do is we introspect and we think, okay, I have done this thing wrong. I have a strong belief that all of us are really wise and smart. and we know what is right thing to do. It's in our hearts that we know what is right to do and what was wrong but that we have done. So if you can just take a 5-second pause, just a 5-second or 3-second pause before you speak, your inner voice will guide you, and let that inner voice guide you to say the things perfectly. It is completely all right to take 3 seconds of pause before you speak. This is how much 3 seconds take. I just took a 3 seconds pause. It will help you form better sentences, and it will help you not have to recall your words back. So that's my take. Just 3 seconds of pause, have a calm head, and have the ability to accept when you fail and you blabber out like unintended words.
The second question is that why do people prefer words over words these days?
Uh, it is quite let's say primitive to start with action than to start with words. What it is, so starting with action is easier. Just think about it. If someone hits you on the shoulder, the clearest response is to hit back or to just respond. Actions make the emotions arise faster. So war is something that is easier on the head, hence it occurs more. Hence people prefer it. If someone is saying some things that hurt you, that make you angry, the easiest response is to try to hurt them. The easiest response is to try to engage in a fight. That's the primitive response of again a chimpanzee mindset. Like if someone is hurting you, you have to hurt back. You have to defend yourself. Hence, it's easier to do. But what's easier might not be the right thing. And that's where the point comes. Wars are not the right thing to do. They're just easier to do. Sometimes the words don't get you the results you are trying to get because the result is unjustified. Suppose a country feels that the neighboring smaller country deserves to be part of their territory, which is not right in moral sense. But what they'll do is they'll start a war. They'll use physical force to drive their point across, which was not logical. So when people try to beat logic, when people try to beat reason, they use war, and war is the primitive way of expressing your emotions. So it's primitive, it's easier, but it's not right.
Thank you so much, sir, for taking out time from your valuable schedule and helping everybody out and guiding them. Uh, Sir, we will be forwarding you such questions more as we are running short of the time. So thank you so much, sir, for engaging us.
It was a pleasure being here. Thank you so much for being a kind audience, for being patient, and for being such a great listener. I hope a lot of success for everyone present here, and I wish you a lot of happiness and much improving communication skills in the future. Thank you so much. Bye bye.